Welcome into NFL Daily. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today I am predicting the final 2 weeks of the 2023 NFL season and how I think it's going to shape the NFL playoff picture here before the end of the regular season. Before I go over my projections here for the rest of the 2023 season, do me a favor, help us out here. Help us get to 350K subscribers. We are so close to this amazing milestone here. Just under 100 subscribers away. So if you want to help us get there, click that subscribe button. Help us get to 350K today. So let's start with what the AFC and NFC playoff pictures look like right now. So the Ravens currently sitting at 12-3. If they can beat the Baltimore Ravens, if they can beat the Miami Dolphins this week, they'll lock up the number 1 seed. Of course, the Dolphins are number 2, trying to catch up to the Ravens this week. The Chiefs are sitting at 9-6 after losing on Christmas to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Jacksonville Jaguars still have full possession of first place in the AFC South. Cleveland, Buffalo, and Indianapolis round out the rest of the playoff picture there in the wild card section. And then teams still in the hunt. Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati at 8-7, and the Las Vegas Raiders and Denver Broncos are still technically alive at this point, sitting at 7-8. Then you go over to the NFC playoff picture here. San Francisco still in the driver's seat at number 1, but after losing to the Ravens last week, the Philadelphia Eagles are right on their tail at the number 2 spot at 11-4. Same thing with the Detroit Lions. I mean, we're sitting right now, the Detroit Lions could potentially be the number 1 seed in the NFC. I cannot believe it. And then we got the number 4 seed right now, the number 1 team in the putrid NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, really getting hot here right when they need to be. And then Dallas, Los Angeles, and Seattle rounded out. In the wild card, Minnesota, Atlanta, Green Bay, and New Orleans all sitting at 7-8, must wins here in Week 17 for all 4 of those clubs. Chicago still technically in it at 6-9 as well. Very nice, producer Jack at the 6-9. All right, now let's get into Week 17 here, okay? Because this is going to be a very big week. There's going to be a lot of teams that get eliminated altogether from NFL playoff contention. So let's break it down for you guys. Thursday night football tonight. All right, New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns. I think we all expect Joe Flacco and the Browns to pull that one out. I'm going to pick the Dallas Cowboys to once again win at home. I mean, Detroit, I think they're feeling pretty good about themselves. They're on the road this week. But I think Dallas is going to do a good job, get the victory there. I do think the home team in that marquee matchup between the Dolphins and Ravens is going to come out on top. I think Lamar Jackson, and the Baltimore Ravens are really feeling good right now. That defense is rolling. I think they're finally going to stop Tua Tagovailoa and that Miami Dolphins defense a bit. I got the Buffalo Bills beating the Pats. Chicago taking on Atlanta and winning at Soldier Field. And then we got the Colts beating the Las Vegas Raiders. The Jags taking the win over the Carolina Panthers. And then the Texans with C.J. Stroud looking like he's going to be back, taking the win against Will Levis. Or maybe not Will Levis. I think he's actually out this week. I think it'll be Ryan Tannehill there in Houston. Then for the rest of the week here, I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams to beat the New York Giants. I'll take the Eagles to win at home against the Arizona Cardinals. I'll take the Bucs to win against the Saints. I think, no, this is actually wrong, Jack. I don't know why I have Washington in there. I think San Francisco beats Washington. So just keep that in mind right there. I'll take Pittsburgh to beat the Seattle Seahawks. And I'll take Kansas City to beat Cincinnati, kind of bounce back off their loss last week to the Raiders. I'll take Denver to beat the Chargers, and I'll take Green Bay to beat Jaron Hall, the rookie quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings this week on the road and keep their playoff hopes alive. All right, so now do me a favor right now. Shout out your favorite team down there in the comment section. Let's make this a little bit of a competition. We're going to count how many votes each team gets. Whichever fan base has the most comments wins. So help your team win right now by shouting them out down there in the comment section. So after Week 17 here, I expect AFC standings to look like this. I think Baltimore will lock up the number 1 seed in the conference with a win over the Dolphins. I think that Kansas City, with their win, get to 10-6, and Jacksonville improves to 9-7. When it comes to the wild card, I think the Browns will still be sitting at number 5 with a win here on Thursday night against the Jets. I got the Buffalo Bills sitting there at number 6. Pretty much the same exact picture because everybody is winning this week. I do think Pittsburgh and Houston still in the hunt after this week, sitting at 9-7 with a chance to sneak in at the end of the year. All right, then we get to the NFC. I still think San Francisco, Philadelphia, Detroit, Tampa Bay, same exact standings this week. I expect to see next week. And then in the wild card, I think a little bit of a change here, okay? So Dallas and Los Angeles still sitting there at the 5 and 6 spots respectively, but Green Bay is going to sneak into that number 7 spot this week with the loss that Seattle is going to take against the Pittsburgh Steelers, all right? So keep that in mind. Seattle, Minnesota, Atlanta, and Chicago will all be teams still in the running for the playoffs heading into the season finale. Now, coming up here, my Week 18 predictions that will decide who makes the playoffs in the National Football League in 2023. But before I go into my Week 18 projections, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. If you want to spice up your game days this NFL season, Prize Picks will be perfect for you, even though there's just 2 weeks left to go. There's still plenty of football left to be played, and it's a skill-based, real money daily fantasy sports game. And let me tell you, man, once you start Prize Picks, you're not going to be able to put it down. Here's how you play. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they'll go for more or less than their Prize Picks projection, you can even win up to 25 times your money on any entry. My entry this week for Seattle Seahawks versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to take the less on Geno Smith passing yards. I'm going to take the more on George Pickens receiving yards, and then the less on DK Metcalf receiving yards as well. I'm telling you guys, if you guys know ball and you want to make some money, Prize Picks is going to be perfect for you. I'm telling you right now, I've made a ton of money with Prize Picks so far this season. You can as well. Check it out now at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. With Prize Picks, it takes less than 60 seconds to make your picks. So get started right now. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. So now we're in Week 18 here. Seattle versus Arizona, must win. I think they get the win. Baltimore already locked up the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. I think they won't be playing their starters. Pittsburgh gets the win to improve to 10-7 to finish out their year. Tampa Bay versus Carolina. Tampa Bay already has the division locked up. Don't really need to be playing for anything. I think Carolina comes up with a win there to finish off their year. Cincinnati versus Cleveland. Cleveland kind of in the same boat. Already locked up a playoff spot. Can't win the division, so there's no real reason to play their starters. I think Cincinnati wins that one at home. Then same thing with Detroit. There's a lot of teams really not playing for anything this week with this current setup based on the Week 17 projections. I think Minnesota, even with Jaren Hall, beats Detroit, who's not going to be playing their starters. Chicago versus Green Bay. I think we see a similar game play out as we saw in Week 1. Green Bay wins. And then we get, I believe the Texans go on the road to Indianapolis in Week 18. Take the Colts' playoff spot here with a win over their division rivals. I'm going to take the Chargers to beat Kansas City, another team that's not really going to be playing for anything in Week 18. And then for the rest of the week, I'll take the Raiders to beat the Broncos. I'll take the Bills to beat the Miami Dolphins and take the division with that win. Absolutely fantastic run Buffalo is on. They beat Miami earlier this season. I think they do it again this time in Miami. I'll take New England to beat the Jets. I'll take the Saints to beat the Falcons. I'll take the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Giants to finish off the year. I will take San Francisco to win a tough game against the Los Angeles Rams. I'll take Jacksonville to beat the Titans. And then I'll actually pick the Washington Commanders to beat the Dallas Cowboys, another team not playing for much in Week 18, already locked up the number 5 spot in the wild card. All right, so now be honest with me down there in the comments section. When it comes to the Miami Dolphins, are they frauds? All right, let me know down there in the comment section. Is there any shot that they can win the Super Bowl? Type Y if you think that they're a fraudulent team that's not going to win the Super Bowl, or type N if you think they're legit and you think they could be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy here in 2023. So at the end of the season, this is my official AFC projection, all right? 13-4 Baltimore Ravens. I think they take the entire conference. Buffalo moves into the number 1 spot in the AFC East, and overtaking the Miami Dolphins and getting the number 2 seed in the conference. Who would have thought that 5 weeks ago? Then I got the Kansas City Chiefs finishing 3rd at 10-7. Jacksonville also finishing 10-7. And the champions of the AFC South. When it comes to the wild card, I have Cleveland finishing at 11-6, number 5 seed. The Miami Dolphins moving down to number 6 because of the losses to both Baltimore and Buffalo to finish out the year. They finish at 11-6, and then Houston with the win over Indianapolis sneaks into the number 7 spot. Pittsburgh at 10-7, just outside the playoff picture here in my projections. Then you go over to the NFC here. San Francisco locks up the number 1 spot with 2 straight wins. Philly gets to 13-4, and they lock up the number 2 spot. Detroit at 11-6, and then we got Tampa Bay at 9-8 to finish out the year and NFC South champions. Then you get to the NFC wild card. I still have Dallas, of course, number 5. They're going to finish at 11-6. Green Bay is going to finish at 9-8, 2 straight wins for Jordan Love and company to finish out their year. And then Los Angeles will finish at 9-8, number 7 seed. But watch out for the Rams. They're playing some really good football right now. So before I go, I want to give you guys my Super Bowl favorite right now. And I definitely think it's between the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. I think right now we're on a collision course to see a Ravens-49ers Super Bowl. And the team that I have to go with in that matchup now is the team that just bullied the other one on primetime football last week. The Ravens look fantastic. Lamar Jackson is the league MVP right now. The defense is probably the best in football. Right now they appear to be Super Bowl favorites. But if you're looking for a team to watch out for here in 2023, heading into 2024, the new year is right around the corner, it's got to be the Buffalo Bills, man. They're playing some really good football, all phases of the game. They finally have a run game that goes outside their quarterback, Josh Allen. Allen is making some great throws in clutch situations, and I don't think anybody questions that the Bills have the talent required to really go on a run and potentially win a Super Bowl. The only question is Josh Allen going to be able to corral the interceptions and the turnovers that have kind of plagued him in playoff play before, and finally hoist his first Lombardi trophy? All right, so let me know down there in the comments section, who do you guys think is going to be hoisting that Lombardi trophy at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas this February? Share your favorite to win the Super Bowl this year down there in the comments section, and I can't wait to see some of those names that you put down there in the comments. That'll be it for today's show, guys. Really do appreciate all of your support. Make sure you click that subscribe button for more in-depth, free, and daily NFL content all throughout the 2023 NFL season.